Welcome back to Patriot Network TV. We've been discussing in the last several episodes the idea of job busters versus job builders. And I wanted to go through some data, and I'm going to quote several numbers here. And if you'd like to look at this research was done by the National Bureau of Economic Research, NBER. I'm going to make reference to them over and over again today in the presentation. What NBER has found out is really alarming in terms of the actual numbers. And what I want to accomplish today, the purpose of today's presentation, is to get your attention about how bad the unemployment actually is. Now, you've heard the number 9697, and that's said all the time, but what you don't realize, or what most people don't realize, is that that is not the true number of unemployed, because once you've exhausted your 99 weeks of unemployment benefits, you drop off of the calculation of who is unemployed. So first of all, if we had the 181,000 additional discouraged workers who dropped off of after 99 weeks of collecting unemployment and left the workforce, who are not counted among the unemployed, real unemployment as of today would be 10.4% nationally. Unemployment in the state of Nevada is at about 14.5%. That's unemployment. Now, the NBER also uses, and so does the state of California, a calculation of unemployment, underemployment, and long-term discouraged workers. In California, we refer to that as U6. And when I say we, I mean statisticians and the people, academics, people who discuss employment numbers. We're also going to talk about employment ratios today, but we'll do that at the end of the presentation. So U6, unemployment plus underemployment plus long-term discouraged worker. That's approaching 20% in Michigan. That's approaching 20% in California. That's approaching 20% in Nevada. In Arizona today, we're at 9.7% unemployment. Locally here in Yavapai County, our unemployment's up above 10%. And the only reason it's not higher is many people have left Yavapai County, left Prescott Valley, left Prescott, and they've left not temporarily, they've left permanently. And many of these people are friends and neighbors, and we've talked to them before they've left, and they're just heartbroken. They loved it here in the mountain west of Arizona, and living in Prescott Valley, living in Prescott was wonderful. But when this recession started and the jobs dried up and the lending dried up, that was the end of it. They've got to go to where there's a greater possibility of getting work. So what is going on with the actual numbers? First and foremost, there is literally an army of unemployed people out there. Now, if you look at unemployment and underemployment without long-term discouraged workers, we're talking nationally about 17%, and that's again a figure from NBER, the National Bureau of Economic Research. If you think about that, 17%, almost 1 in 5 people is either unemployed or underemployed. Add in long-term discouraged workers, and we're getting close to 1 in 5 nationally. Well, let's go to another measure of employment health, and that measure is a measure we've used over the years, and it's a much more effective measure, and it's called the employment population ratio. And what it does is measure the number of people. You don't lose the folks who are no longer collecting unemployment. You don't lose the long-term discouraged worker. In 2007, the employment population ratio was 63%. Today, it's approaching 57.9%. It's gone down every month for the last few months. It's gone from 58.8 to 58.7 to 58.5, and it's on its way to 57.9%. That is extremely low. That is a cripplingly low amount of employment in terms of the employment population ratio. That is the total number of people who can work versus the total number who are working. It is an absolute damning indictment of the current policies of Pelosi, Reid, and Obama. It is time to stop busting jobs and start building jobs. How do we build jobs? It's the oldest, easiest story in the book. Cut taxes, cut regulation, and encourage people to invest money so that they can form capital to get new businesses. So we want to cut the marginal income tax rate. We want to zero out the capital gains rate. We want to get rid of the death tax. And if we do those things and cut back on regulation, guess what's going to happen? We are going to have an explosion of economic growth and employment. That's what we need to have happen. Every candidate that you're supporting on November 2nd should be in favor of those basic changes. If they're not, don't vote for them.